Hey Stampers, Kim from stampingofperfection.com. Thanks for joining me today. I wanted to share a technique. One of the classes that I took at Alta New Academy was a one-layer card class, and I absolutely loved the class. I got so much out of it, and I've been practicing the techniques a lot, and a couple times I've done cards with a drop shadow technique that I learned, and I really love this technique because you can have a one-layer card, and using this super simple drop shadow technique, actually it will give your card quite a bit of dimension. For example, here's a card that I made. This is a stack of cards. Watch, the other one won't be in the pile here. Here it is. So here's a card. This is one I just made also with the, I've used it quite a bit. I just really like this technique. Here's another one, and I have more, but anyway, like there's a drop shadow here. This one is especially pretty. This is from the Hedgehog Hollow. But there's a drop shadow on that. This is a single layer. This is not a piece of cardstock. This is just a single layer technique. There's no cardstock there. And like one layer, no extra cardstock, not even for this little sentiment strip. The same thing here. This card has a lot of layers. This is from this week's Papercraft Crew sketch. I loved this layout, and I really liked this card, and I thought I would like to see if I could sort of do something like that with this layout, because I like the layout so much. And you can check out the sketch challenge this week at papercraftcrew.com. But I liked it so much that I thought I would actually try it with no layers. So this is with lots of layers. I don't know if you can see all the dimension on that card there. And this is with just one. Everything here is just the card layer. So your card base. And it's just a drop shadow technique that kind of makes it look like layers. I think it's amazing. Like even this is not a piece of cardstock. That's just marker. So I just wanted to show you how this works, because several people actually have asked, what color marker are you using? How are you doing that? So I thought I would start out with Concord and 9 has this really pretty lace leaf stamp set, and I thought this would be quick and easy to show you what I mean. And plus I really love this super small sentiment strip along the bottom, so I thought that would be a cool border, and maybe I could do I'll see how it works. We'll see how it works. You never know till you start. In my head, I have this card all made, and it's beautiful. You can tell me if it ends up that way. So I'm going to take, and I thought I would do one without the drop shadow and one with the drop shadow, just so you could see the difference. So I've got my Alta New Crisp ink. This is my favorite ink, and I'm using this because I'm going to, well, I use it for everything practically. I want to make, I'm going to color this really simply with my Alta New artist markers, which are alcohol markers, and with an image this size, I really should be using my Misty. Okay, so yes, I should have used my Misty for that, but that's okay. With big images, I never get them dark enough. I've gotten in the habit of always using my Misty with my sentiments, so I can stamp them more than once. Okay, oops, I rocked that one a little bit. I'm going to leave that as my blank one, and I'll color this one in. Alright, so I'm going to put a little bit of, I think I'm going to start out with a light yellow. This is C01, and I'm really not doing this to show you about coloring. I just want to put some color down And I'm not doing any color technique. I'm just going to color this in. And I want it to be fall colors. This would be really pretty watercolored. Okay, and then I want to take a little bit of green. And then I'm going to use Y803, which is like an orangey color, like a brownish orange, because what a perfect color for leaves. Put some on the tip here, maybe some along the center. Take my yellow. This is a darker yellow. Blend it a little bit. Oops, went right outside the line there. No fixing that. Pretty soon the leaves in my yard will look like this. Okay, so that's good enough. You get the idea. So the next thing I want to do is I want to put my sentiment strip down. I definitely want to use my Misty for this. And I want to use my original size Misty for this because the sentiment strip that I want to use is longer than the card. So I do want it to actually hang off a little bit. So I'm going to take this and line up the ends there. Okay, and then I'm just going to use my black ink and ink this up. Now, one other thing I want to do, and I don't care that it's not perfect. I'm going to put a little, since I didn't start in the center, I'm going to just put a little piece of tape down to mark where the edge of this card goes. There we go. Like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other card. Just put the sentiment on there. And I'll color this one in a minute too, because I want to have one to show you. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my marker, I'm going to take my black marker, in fact, and I'm going to use my ruler and just go along the edge here, because basically I want to create a sentiment strip. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll go below it. Like that, and now I'm going to color over this. my head's not in the way here. But I'm just going to color in between those lines. I'm completely covering up that sentiment. And right now you're thinking, what the heck did she even bother putting that sentiment in for? But I put that sentiment in so that I know where to color. And I've got it all set up in my Misty. So I'll put this back in. Now I'm going to take my VersaMark and my embossing buddy, somewhere I have a piece of, oh, here we go, I have a piece of mail I can use. Now I've got my and this is a part that's going to drive people crazy. I've got my VersaMark. I'm going to ink up, and I know that I did not, I know I didn't clean that off, but now I'm going to just ink this up right over top of that black line that I just drew. Now one thing that I'll probably wish that I did was, I'm probably going to wish that I took my heat tool and just dried that alcohol marker. But I'm going to pour this on. Hopefully this gold shows up. Actually, I probably should have done it in white. I'm using rose gold for everything. And now I'm going to use my heat gun Okay, now I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other card, so I have one to compare this to. Okay. So now I have two that are exactly, well, they're not exactly the same, but they're a lot alike. So I'm going to put this one aside, and I'm going to take this one. Now I'm using, these are all Altenew markers. This one is WG01. I would not hesitate to use WG03, like one of the gray colors. You could actually use WG05, like any one of these gray colors works fine. I'm going to take the lightest one, and I like the brush end, and I'm going to take, and I have consistently been doing it the same way. I'm not very, I'm not an expert at where is the light coming from. So right now I'm just sticking to, I would do any part of the left-hand side if there was more on the left. Really, I just have this. And then I'm going to take this gray marker, this light gray marker, and just outline along the left and the bottom. Like that. I don't know if you can see it, but when I hold them up, I don't know how much you can see this. Like, I can see a huge difference on these two, and I'm going to do the same thing to the sentiment. I'm just going to put a gray line along the bottom. And I would do the left-hand side of that if I hadn't gone off the edge. And I'm going to put a small gray line along the top, too, because I think the sentiment strips really do cast a shadow along both spots, both sides. Now the darker the marker that I use, the more this stands out. And I don't know if you can see the difference on the camera. Let me use a darker marker. Let me go over this with a slightly darker marker. The darker the marker that you use, the more dimension it's going to look. And the thicker you make that line, like I've been trying to stick to pretty thin lines. and I've been using my lightest marker just to practice. I'm sure if you have Copic markers, you have a lot of grays to choose from. And I'm not sure you can see the difference here, but this is the one with the drop shadow. This is the one without it. And up close, it's got way more dimension. It actually looks like there's a shadow under this leaf and under this sentiment. And so the drop shadow makes a huge difference. It makes a bigger difference on a card where you're doing a lot. Like, I didn't just put it around the boxes. I've got it around the flowers too. This one especially, I put it all along the left edges. I put it along the left edges and the bottom, everywhere around here. And it really gives the cards a lot of dimension. Same thing here. I've got a drop shadow on those. This is just one sheet of paper, and I mean, that's not cardstock layers, that's just one sheet of paper. That's black marker. This is definitely layers, and that's again one sheet. So you can create a lot of dimension, and I've started using the gray marker, and a lot of times you'll see people who are really experienced colorists use black in the places they want to be the darkest to really stand out. They'll take a black marker on an image like this just to really define what they want to have dimension. But I really like it, and I see a huge difference between those two. So I'm going to actually attach these to a card base. I'm going to add my drop shadow to this one, and I really like this image. This is Concord & Nine's Lace Leaf set. This is Sunny Studios' Beautiful Autumn. This is the Hedgehog Hollow September kit. That was a floral card kit. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then this is Altenew. I want to say Golden Garden, but I can't remember if that's... Oh no, it's Perfectly Perfect. This one is Perfectly Perfect. This is Golden Garden. So, and this definitely has layers. So thanks for watching. Stop on my blog at stampingimperfection.com. I'll put a link below to the Concord & Ninth stamp set that I used, and to the Altenew artist markers. I love these artist markers. There are 30, it's a set of 36. They've got replaceable nibs and re-inkers now, so it's wonderful. I like that it's a set of 36. It gives me 3 colors in each color family, plus some neutrals that I can work with. And it's not a $2,500 investment, so I feel like it's just a perfect size set for me as I learn to do a lot of coloring techniques with the alcohol markers. And I'm by no means an expert, but I am having fun learning, and I'm having even more fun because I didn't make a huge investment and have to figure out how to organize $2,500 worth of markers. So these are really nice if you're looking to get started on alcohol marker coloring. These Altenew artist markers are fantastic, and you also want to make sure you get the Altenew's new Crisp Ink Permanent Black, because that's the ink pad that you can use with the alcohol markers. So thanks for watching. Give this video a like, share with your friends. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and stop by my blog at stampingimperfection.com. Thanks for watching.